Google doesn't send
Yeah.
people to the homepage. They send people to the specific articles and videos, and that's what the site's designed for. Who cares what the homepage looks like? The point is people come to the site, it's got a lot of authority, and if people ask a certain question about digital marketing, Google will send them to that thing. They don't send them to my homepage.
How are you doing, sir?
Good, good. Sir, man, I'm getting old.
I've seen you've been dunking. You're not getting old. You're
Ah,
doing all these dunks. That's really cool.
not bad for 50 years.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, I think there's lots of good things for you here.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that I think is, I don't want to say easy to do, but it's a bunch of little things that I think we can do pretty quickly.
Okay.
They carry a lot of power. You came to me initially with personal brand stuff. And did I show you there's tons of other Eric,
Uh,
right?
yeah. Yeah. That was my definitely a concern to kind of have a ununique name. So definitely interested
Yeah.
to hear more about that.
But I also have the same thing with the two-letter last name, and there's a ton of people named Dennis Yu as well. So I don't think that really hurts you. We just need to grab Eric Dash Thomas or something like that,
Okay.
and then tie that with all the other entities that you have. So it's funny because I know this Eric Thomas, and there's all these
Yeah.
other Eric Thomases. For some reason, I think there's a lot of black athletes there. Eric Thomases for some, you know,
Yeah.
football player, and this vice chancellor. I don't know those guys. I think is this guy black too? It's like they're all black. No, this one's not. Okay. So
Interesting.
here's what I think is the game plan should be. And oh, this guy's a gynecologist, former
That's
vice chancellor.
interesting.
Okay. Well, whatever. Who knows these days?
Yeah.
But what I want to do is actually implement for you, not just, I mean, I want to tell you what I think it is, and then we can agree like these are the things to do. And then I want our team to implement.
Okay.
So, of course, you're doing this not for vanity reasons, but because you want to grow your relationships and home services and ultimately grow the agency as a figurehead, right? If I
Hmm.
understand correctly. So, you produce a lot of content, you have a podcast. The podcast has a website. You told me the relationship that you have with, was it Greg from Service Titan and other people that you've had on the podcast, right? And these podcast episodes, for some reason, appear to almost all be audio
Yeah.
instead of video.
Yeah, I think Podbean just pushes it out like that.
Oh,
Um,
using Podbean. Okay.
yeah,
And that's fine. There's lots of tools that will push to the different podcast networks. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but I think the most important thing, and everyone I know who's doing podcasts, is they record them as Zoom calls or some kind of video call. And then that can be turned into lots of other things. I know you've got like the audiogram here or other things like that, but videos, most of what you have are shorter videos, but there's enough with you and other people. I don't know, maybe you had Tommy Mello and you pulled clips out of that, but that can easily be repurposed because when you turn those things into articles using AI, which I want to do
well,
for our team doing it, which I think we should be able to just cover, we'd be able to pretty much do all of it within the power hour you already paid for, right? Then there's, like this, maximize your impact, power personal branding. That, I mean, that's technically like an okay title, but it should be Tommy Mello shares how his personal brand helped
yeah,
A1 Garage grow. You see, like it's including actual specifics. Otherwise, like if I just saw this title, maximize your impact, the power of personal branding. I mean, what is this going to be like Tony Robbins or something? You have no idea who it
yeah,
is. There's no
yeah,
factual, specific, relevant thing to people in home services, especially.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
That's true.
someone went in and like added all these somehow thinking if they added all these, hashtags that
I think, yeah, we use repurpose dot io, and I think a
yeah,
lot of this is automated, so it's probably just AI. So, but
that's
yeah,
AI abuse
there's more hashtags than there is actual description on that one.
by a lot. And you could have hashtags here too. It's like you're just,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
if the game was how many hashtags that you've won.
it's funny.
So I'd have to think that you have some way of gathering all of the real videos and pictures and everything to show industry credibility. Just because I've seen you engage, so I could even say like stuff I have with Tommy Mello, right? And Tommy and I have done lots of things like how many push-ups can we do and eating steak and hang out in his office and walking around and just doing lots of random stuff,
Yeah,
touring his office and being on the podcast. And so these are raw EEAT ingredients, right?
yeah,
Experience, expertise, authority, trust, right? So with this, I mean, if you have it on your phone, like I have this kind of stuff here. This can easily be repurposed. And then
Yeah.
that can be put on Eric Dash Thomas. That can enhance your author bio. So obviously it all has to go to Rival Digital, but not come off in the whole point of building the credibility and trust and all that is leveraging these relationships
Yeah.
instead of, oh, come to me if you're a home service business and we'll help you with your local SEO and local service ads and Facebook.
Yeah.
What is it? All the stuff, this.
Yeah.
And they all say this and they all look the same when they say this, right?
Yeah.
And they're all using AI to generate all kinds of nonsense, which has no trust because it doesn't include the actual ingredients.
Yeah.
So if your team can give us access to where we can get real EEAT, maybe let's say I'm doing stuff with like plumbers, I don't know, whatever, then what does Google's AI through Google Photos have to say? Well, I have friends who are plumbers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of proof of that. And these are real EEAT sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
Or you're in some weird, what town are you in?
Me,
Yeah,
I'm in a town called Pocosin. It's close to Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I don't know where that town is. But I have I have a lot of stuff to establish that I've done stuff in Virginia.
Yeah.
And people will argue about whether these things actually, the geotags will actually matter, Newport News, right?
Yeah, that's right by where I live.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's my view, I'm biased because I came from the search engines.
Yeah.
So I'm not an SEO person. My whole career has been fighting these SEO people. And our point of view with the search engines is that people are trying to trick us, right? How do I know that how do I know Rival Digital is good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've got all these articles. What's the future of AI and SEO or whatever? And then I read the article and it was like, okay, there's this like generic robot touch the screen stock art. Like, where'd this come
Yeah.
from? Well,
Canva.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's AI generated or not, I mean, I don't know. It's sort of the
Yeah.
ironically funny, but
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you have, of course, you're linking between these different things, and you have this. But I'd ask you, Eric, is there any real EEAT and the first E, right? The experience. Are you
Yeah.
showing any real ingredients here, or is this something that an AI tool could generate? Is
Oh,
there
it's
any?
definitely something AI could generate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every single one of these pieces of content can be enhanced, ironically, with AI, but the AI needs the ingredients, right? So the cook needs
Yeah.
the meat and the vegetables, and like
Yeah. Ironically enough, the ones that I actually wrote
yeah.
tend to get like in Ahrefs, like they have way more, I guess, like keyword tracking or just more visibility. Like that was
Well,
probably,
them and SEMrush and these guys love to argue about
yeah.
who has the bigger database and what's more accurate. I use all of them. I was on the advisory board for SEMrush.
Okay.
I use Ahrefs for auditing because they have a toolbar which is better. And
Yeah.
Fernando, who is also a speaker for SEMrush, we speak at the same conferences, and then he doesn't like it when I show, no pun intended, his rival.
Yeah.
But anyway, if we look at these blog posts, they don't really carry any power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would tactically, sure, use link whisper and rank math to distribute link authority because you have this 41 which could distribute and all that. And yeah, I get it. You try to use your keywords more and whatever. But I think of it from a deeper standpoint on the trust that you have. And I think, okay, back to the original thing. What about Eric Thomas and the Eric Thomas and Rival Digital? Is he credible in home services? Well, there's someone we can ask about that, right? I forgot which one I logged in on. Hopefully, don't OAuth me. Oh,
It's the
I
worst.
do this all the time. Okay, 1 second here. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes it does that, and sometimes I gotta use this thing to pull up the codes. And okay, so if we've done it properly, then we should be able to say, what do you know about Eric Thomas of Rival Digital? And I give it context. He wants to build his trust and authority among home service businesses for his agency. And we could use any model you want. I mean, you want to go to Gemini or, Anthropic, or it's the same thing
Yeah.
because it's pulling off of what it knows from search, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So then I'll say, who does he know who is trustworthy in home services? People, companies. We are assessing his EEAT. So I'm asking these questions now because later I want to ask the same questions and we're going to get it. We're going to hear a different answer. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, okay, well, you need to do these things to show that you have authority. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, we just talked about that, right? Yeah. Well, says I don't really know, right? I mean, sort of, right?
I think it's just making stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of loose.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
how does Content Factory and Dollar a Day, which we teach, play into this? This is exactly what we said.
Yeah.
And then take those best items. So let's say you have a webinar with Greg or Tommy or whatever that you've already done or anything you have coming up. Let's just turn those things into articles and derivative content, which we call, repurposing. And this, ironically, this is what the AI tools can do. And we're teaching a bunch of
Yeah.
young adults. I don't know why, but for some reason, these young adults in America do better than these other countries. It used to be like for
Yeah.
SEO and website building and like whatever you do offshore, but like the AI stuff, it's all Americans in the same industry. It's
Yeah.
industry specific. It really, because you have to know the EAT. You have to be able to, like, if you don't know who Tommy Mello and Service Titan, like, then you can't, the AI tool's not really doing anything for you. You have to know the stuff because the technical
Yeah.
advantage has been taken away because the AI can write the code and all that, right?
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
just give our team these raw ingredients. I mean,
Okay.
we practice what we preach because we have tons of Zoom calls and tons of, things on my phone and tons of stuff that are the raw ingredients. And then we have a team and we train up other teams because lots of other agencies and lots of other relationships so that we then put them on sites that we control. Like this is
Smart.
mine, this free ebook site, 500,000 visitors a day,
Oh,
number one
wow.
free ebook site, DR75, 7 million links, all legit, been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get you on, I want to interview you and put you on, market scale, get you a knowledge panel. This will take a little time. I don't make any guarantees about this, but I think we will. But
Yeah.
and then I want to
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
involve,
just any
right?
guidance on that. Yeah, that's awesome. Any guidance on the knowledge panel stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. I know you do that a
But
lot.
not for
So
vanity. The knowledge
yeah.
panel is because it like if we ask these questions and it says, oh yeah, Eric Thomas, clearly he's been working with this person, this person, this person, spoke at this conference, done these things, right?
Yeah.
But if I go to this, what are the specific EEAT ingredients? Well, there's Rival Digital, there's your podcast, and that's it.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
ironically where you want to boast about all this and that. But
On this page, this like,
no, I mean this is the best you have, which is why
yeah.
Google's confused, right? Not, I
Yeah.
mean, yes, there's all the other Eric Thomases too, but aside from that, you've not made it clear to Google who you are.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the most common mistake I see in personal branding among just any kind of business owner, but especially agency
Mhm.
people, is they put their bio on the company about. And the company's an entity because the company has, there's all the things about Rival Digital and there's other people and, things like that. So you could have a short bio, but then you want to talk mainly about Rival Digital. The about of Rival Digital should be about Rival Digital. The about of Eric
Yeah.
Thomas should be on the Eric Thomas site, right?
Yeah.
And then all these other sites should link together in the right way, right?
Okay. Yeah, I've got a domain name for myself to use. Just need to spend a little bit of time cooking it up.
Yeah, well, we built a platform to do that. So you can just use ours.
Okay.
And even better, if you have someone that, or a couple people that you want to put through our training on how to do this, they could work together with our people to implement the stuff we just talked about. And then these
Yeah.
people all might as well go claim their knowledge panel and buy their name. So something I do, which sometimes pisses people off, but usually people appreciate, is as part of our process with onboarding, whether it's a client or, a team member or whatever, we just always buy their domain name
Yeah.
firstlast.com. And if that's not taken, we do, Sophia-Potter.com or what. We just do that and then put it on our platform. Because then our
Yeah.
platform has schema, repurposing content to it, where, any podcasts they have, we're just like putting them into stuff. And
Okay.
that's good for them. Like I think about all the people on your podcast. Fine, you had a lot of these as audiograms or whatever, but like why wouldn't you want to help them with their personal brand, which costs you nothing and is super easy to do?
Yeah.
Which also then creates more authority for the content that you've had, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm not saying you need to have millions of views, but then, this stuff needs to get distribution, right? It's a shame it's not video, but whatever. Let's just work.
Yeah. We have the video for it all in StreamYard. We just need to
Okay. Can you put
push
it
it over
all
to
in
it.
one folder so our team can play with it?
Yeah,
Everything.
absolutely. And I've got I'll start with
Okay.
some of the most recent ones, but I mean, I've got 3.5, 4 years worth of podcast
Okay.
recordings in there.
Just stick them all in one folder, and the ones that you think are the highest authority because of the people, because of the story, because of like whatever, the Tommy Mellows kind of thing, like highlight those for us. And then if
Okay.
you have someone on your team or a young adult or whatever to work with us, then have them send an email to Stephanie@blitzmetrics.com, and then we'll add them, and they can learn how to use all the tools and that whole kind of thing.
Okay.
So then, I was looking at the trademark. There's only 11 pages, so we need to
Yeah,
repurpose. Yeah.
this one's pretty bad.
Yeah. But it's not hard to do. That's what I was saying. There's lots of little
Yeah.
steps. The AI can help process it, but most people, when they use the AI, as you mentioned, they abuse it. So they
Yeah.
generate a lot of garbage, and because all the tools claim that they all have AI now, and okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to show. And then we can assess along the way. You and I, as sort of more like coaches, we are cheerleading and disciplining and coaching, all the stuff for our players. We want our players to do good work. And then you and I can come in and clearly Google you and Google what you rank on and Google your brand and Google this, just to see. Like, I want to see the fact that you have these keywords, which of course your name, but like this is low hanging fruit. This
Yeah.
HVAC digital marketing, this is competitive.
Yeah.
You're right there. I wish there were more SERP features here. Ironically, there's a video one here, but and a local pack. That's hilarious. But the weight is being carried by the home page. That's a glass is half full kind of thing. The home page should not be carrying this. That means the glass is half empty view is your other pages aren't strong enough, which is why it's showing on the home page, right?
Yeah. It's interesting that digital marketing for pest control is going to a blog article instead of the actual service page.
Because Google thinks that this is more helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have all these things that are in striking distance. And
Yeah.
we have a lot of friends who run digital agencies that, I mean, it's not, there's so many that serve home services. It's not like there's
Yeah.
actually real competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Josh Nelson and I talk about that all the time. I mean, how many plumbing or HVAC, whatever companies does he have in his coaching group? Like so many,
A ton. Yeah. That's actually where I think that's where I met you
We met
originally.
like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was at one of the 7FA events. You had talked about the content
Yeah.
factory, and I've been keeping up with you ever since. But yeah, oh my gosh, man. Now there's probably 20, 25, or 25 or more HVAC and plumbing in the group. So
But
there's no shortage.
these companies, well, the underlying clients, these plumbing HVAC companies are so bad at their digital marketing. And the
Yeah.
agencies, I won't name drop, but you can see who our mutual friends are. They're
Yeah.
almost all horribly incompetent.
Yeah.
Almost every one of the digital agencies serving, like, they're incompetent. Even the young
Yep.
adults and whatever that I coach, they're kind of incompetent
Yeah.
for various reasons. Even though I love Josh's model and all that, it's the results are terrible,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love the group. I mean, the accountability and the networking is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of I mean, I would just say in general in marketing, there's a lot of incompetence. But yeah,
It's not
definitely.
like they're bad people.
Yeah,
I love the framework. I love that, we have good Christian men that go to church and all this, but the results are horrible.
yeah, yeah. We've been pretty lucky with with our clients because we
Yeah.
don't position ourselves in the same way when it comes to like doing SEO.
Yeah.
Ours is a more collaborative approach where we'll do the content and the linking and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but we focus a lot on like digital PR too to like help our clients get podcast opportunities and media opportunities to build more relevant links and kind of coach them too on local stuff they can do because you can't really. I don't know. I just don't
But
think you
if
can really
these
do
guys are
this.
getting on podcasts or your account managers are interviewing them or whatever, then which you should, then that allows us to share link equity between. I don't want to say it's a link exchange or a PBN or anything that would get us in trouble like that, but that actually is I've talked to people from Google about this, and I think I might have even mentioned at some of the 7FAs about this. But that is a legitimate linking strategy. So if I'm an agency with tons of HVAC companies, I can link between them if I do it in a non-spammy way.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And that's all part of the content factory process. But it's not like I invented the idea that you can link between them. I just
Yeah,
systematized how it can be done. So I'd say get a few people through through some of this training here and maybe have one of them or two of them specialized for the agency too. But if they can do
Hmm.
it for the clients, they can do it for the agency and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then we built a whole platform to do that for personal brands, which we're extending into I mean, it's for the personal brands of all these local service businesses. So we have, the personal brands for electricians, for real estate agents, for professional basketball players, for agency owners. Like our tool doesn't distinguish, or like this is our template, right? This is my buddy Alex, and there's some stuff that he does, and there's some videos and whatever, and doesn't have many links coming in, but it was good enough to drive a knowledge panel.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't take a lot to drive a knowledge panel. And then having it trigger and getting traffic to the knowledge panel, then that's like dollar a day stuff, right? Even my
Yeah.
website is built on the same cookie cutter framework. This one, it's the same one. And this thing ranks on all kinds of stuff. So some people are like, oh, but I don't like how your website looks. I don't care how it looks. It's not even the home page. You know this, Eric. Like it's just all this stuff is organized the right way. That's the thing that people seem to miss.
Yeah.
Everyone we have is on this template. You want to change the color? Okay, fine. It doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a domain, you could point the name servers to our thing, and then we have our own framework that we built on top of AWS to be able to
Okay.
manage. It's kind of like our own the engine. At
Yeah.
some point, I want to charge $10 a month for it, but I want to get to the point where it's just so awesome that it's like a no-brainer to pay $10 a month for each of these things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I'm sure people would do that too. They'd pay that.
Oh, there's people that are paying me now because I've done this knowledge panel thing now. I've been on this knowledge panel kick for like the last 6 months. So I've helped dozens of people do it. And then other people I've, trained a trainer, then they've helped other people. So
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about our process of doing that and building the things that Google wants because I've seen enough like what's working, what doesn't like, I know now, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I can offer this confidently, but I don't
Hmm.
want to be the VA doing it, even though initially I have to be the VA because I have to taste the thing myself and like make sure that we know how it works. So we've been
Yeah.
training a ton of young adults on how to do what we're doing here. And they can do the work, but they just aren't able to explain it with the level of clarity that I'm doing with you right now. That's
Yeah.
that's the only missing thing. I don't know, maybe call that account management or whatever it is. Maybe the
Yeah.
VA is never meant to be able to talk on video. I don't know. But I think people should be able to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's what I want to do. So round up the folder of content, give us a couple people that we can run through the training, and point the name servers to like send an email so we can tell you what name server. We haven't figured out how to automate that part, but we'll point the name servers for that domain, and then we'll just make this system run. And every month or so, we can check in and see where things are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've
Okay.
already paid, so.
Yep.
At some point, once you think things are really good, then you can pay us $10 a month.
Yeah. I get it. So like if you guys need us to pay, anything in the meantime for
I
the
mean, if
work
you
you're
want to pay us
doing,
$10 a month now, then we can declare you as a customer, and that'd be
yeah.
awesome. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're never going to make money at $10 a month until we're like a Netflix kind of thing with lots of this. This is a SaaS model, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
smart. That's smart. That's the way to go these days. Like the high retainer stuff, man, is so stressful.
because the
I mean,
expectations are so high, and they want to talk to you, and you have to coach them, advise them like that. Because the expectation
yeah.
of all that other stuff, which I don't want to do, right? I
Yeah.
just want to give them the
Yeah.
result.
Yeah. Yeah. And too, like with the agency side, like, they pay the retainers and
Yeah.
yeah, the expectations are astronomical. And no matter how many times you set expectations, they're still like, where's my leads? Where's my
Yeah.
where's my
I mean,
SEO?
there's all kinds of stuff. I get it's
Yeah.
profitable, and I love Josh Nelson's model, but I think things are being disrupted. And I've been saying this for a while. And
Yeah.
I've been right over the last 30 plus years calling what was going to happen.
Yeah. We're
Not like it's
pivoting
hard to
right
see,
now.
right?
Yeah. We're pivoting right now too. It's not hard to see. I think the writing's on the wall that, you know,
Yeah. And you see a
the,
lot of big agency owners could even be like the Lance Bachmans selling their thing to PE and then actually buying home service businesses. You've seen that, right?
yeah. Yeah. I went to his event. I saw Marco there.
Okay.
I spoke at his event and I didn't even post about it. How good of me.
Well, do you have the footage?
Yeah. Yeah. I got video.
All right. We'll get all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got a book coming out in June as well.
Can we dollar a day it?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to do whatever I can do to help with with the authority around,
Yeah.
the book. And the book is not a sales tool. It's genuinely a book to help, with practical
Mhm.
marketing advice that I've accrued over, the 4 or 5 years I've been doing home services stuff, just based on my
Yeah.
observations.
Mm.
So anything I can do just to help get it to more people would be cool.
Yeah, that's easy. Well, obviously, when you have a book, every time you're on a podcast, they'll say, "Oh, Eric Thomas, author of this book." That's just another thing that builds more authority, which then ties back to you, which ties to this whole knowledge panel, knowledge graph stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm a big fan of just building in public, like putting everything in the open. So we could literally take this Zoom and then turn it into an article that's here and on Blitzmetrics. And like one of the things we've been doing is like, I'll show you this. We're just literally putting everything into YouTube's. And then this is ranking, right?
Yeah.
You can see, well, we're putting the raw ones in here as unlisted. But a lot of these other ones that are just calls like this where there's interesting tidbits of real EEAT. Obviously, keep out the things that are like sensitive. I don't think we should
Yeah.
be sensitive here, but there's so many of these, right? And
Yeah.
these all came in just the last. Look at the velocity of these, right?
Yeah.
And this is using like this is our my buddy who's a figurehead in landscaping. It's not this freaking doesn't even have a description, right? But doesn't matter because Google's picking up on that and it's helping. It's enhancing him and landscaping, Bloomington. So then if they put the description showing what actually happened, link to the repurposed article embeds the YouTube video. Some people call that Google stacking. I'm not doing it from an SEO point of view. I'm doing it from a this is the most helpful thing to actually do point of view,
Yeah.
right? So
Nice.
I think we should do that for you too. We could literally take our content here and turn it into that because that builds your authority and my authority, both in home
Yeah,
service.
you mentioned something about like a podcast interview of some sort
Yeah,
on what'd you say it was called? There was a website that you just had pulled up.
market scale. Yeah,
Market Scale. Yeah,
yeah. So I
yeah,
interview a lot of people who are like yesterday. I interviewed the CEO of a hedge fund. I drove over to his house, right? And a week ago, I interviewed a guy who has a $3 billion company, right? Or whatever it is. And so those just get turned into these articles and videos and all this kind of stuff, right?
yeah,
Like, there's even, like Bo Harrelson. We're in his car and we're hiking in the mountains, and this guy runs a multi-seven-figure agency, right?
yeah,
And that random cell phone video got turned into an article and a video and the stuff that you saw us talk about with the content factory approach, right? We just turn it into
yeah,
multiple assets, right?
yeah,
And so agency owners like you and me know to do this, but we just don't for various reasons. It's not
yeah,
like you don't know that you should do this.
yeah. It's one of those things, man. Like the mechanic drives the worst car type deal.
Yeah,
Where
cobbler's son, no shoes, all that.
Yeah. Like, well, I've met with two clients today and I'm just like, hey, you need to be, doing all this stuff, but I'm not doing it. And then I feel guilty. That's why I'm trying to, reach out and talk to some folks about, different
Yeah,
ways to go about this. Cause I feel a little guilty that I'm not practicing what I preach a lot of times
I know.
about,
We're all
personal
hypocrites.
branding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we work, we work hard to help our clients, but we don't work
Yeah.
hard to help ourselves. So, which is feels wrong to me.
So there's two approaches on that. I guess technically three. One approach is you have the team not only do this for the clients and all that, which you can traction EOS your way there, but also just dedicate 5%, 10% of time towards their personal brand and career and coaching and mentorship and that kind of thing, which also includes doing stuff for Rival at the same time. That's my
Yeah.
favorite approach because I feel like those people who've done it for clients, they're going to do better than the second approach, which is you hire a dedicated VA to work on your personal brand or a dedicated team to work on just the agency's marketing. And I understand why
Yeah.
the bigger agencies do that because they don't want to cannibalize resources because you end up stealing resources for clients, especially if you're a growing agency. Like then the client need comes ahead, and then you end up in that cobbler's son situation where there's because the agency always gets served last, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the approach most people take, which is number two. And then
Yeah.
approach number three, which I don't think will be valid for another year, is you have third parties do it on an ongoing basis. Oh, but we're so
Yeah.
busy doing this stuff. We're just going to outsource our accounting. We're going to outsource this personal brand. Like, okay, I get outsourcing your HR and accounting and stuff like that, but I think this stuff you can't outsource because of the nature of what it is. But I
Yeah.
think what I want to do for you with our team, I don't want you to outsource to us. I want us to initially help you set the thing up and do it to the
Okay.
point where we can hand it over to the internal team where they've been
Yeah.
involved all along, and then they can take it from there. And then we become more of a SaaS and provide more tools and more AI stuff, which then as more content comes in, then our SaaS does our thing, but in an intelligent way, not like this Opus Clip, whatever thing that you were showing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want. So
Absolutely.
I advocate for you understand what I'm saying about like the three ways to do it. I
Yeah.
advocate for
Yeah.
number one, but I think realistically for most agency owners and home service businesses, it's going to be number three. But
Yeah.
that's not, that's what's being sold, but that's not what's available in the marketplace yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of change coming in the world with AI and everything. It's interesting times for sure.
You have so much authority that AI becomes, I've been preaching this, you know, the AI is a multiplier of your most competent team members. It's
Yeah, that's
multiply what
true.
you have. So
Yeah.
like you, yeah, you speaking at Lance's thing or whatever, you can like, I'm sure you have tons of things like that that are not being leveraged. Just get them into the bucket for us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I
So
learned
I
a
want
lot
to do
here.
it. I know this we were just talking today, but I want to
Yeah.
actually do it. And our
Yeah.
team will carry most of it, but I would prefer if you can pull in a couple team members or if you want to be involved in a certain way. I want to implement and I want to be clear so you know what I'm doing. I love teaching from example. I love
Good.
highlighting people. And you know I highlight a lot of people, Eric.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Either way, I highlight them. Okay. So there's so
Yeah.
many good things for you that this is really good, right?
Yeah.
Other people that, and because the scale doesn't care. The scale has no emotion. The scale is just showing what the numbers are. And that's what we're doing here, right? There's some
Yeah.
people are offended that the scale puts a number there that says you're obviously obese. Like, don't get mad at the scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But you have
Yeah.
all these good things, so you have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, that's true. I've always been a bit timid to put myself out there.
But you're understated.
Uh,
You're the quiet, competent, do good. You're not the flash my Lamborghini, look at how much money I'm making kind of guy. Like
yeah.
those people are obviously louder, but we want to highlight more people like you.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to. I just think, yeah, I think this is a good nudge for me to do it in
Yeah.
the right way, because
So let us do that for you. That way you don't feel like some kind of narcissist where you're talking about yourself and you're tooting your own horn. Let us toot your
yeah,
horn.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
everything
Cause
you do with us, every dollar that comes in is creating jobs for
yeah,
these young adults and VAs all over. I don't, for me, you know?
yeah, yeah. I think I saw one of your posts a while back about like, there's two, like, there's like the doctors, like you want a doctor, working on your heart. And I was like, yeah, like I'm definitely like more the mechanic style, like
Yeah.
I'm a web developer that has learned how to run a business, and I like to build websites. Like that's my happy place. And
Yeah.
but I understand I need to do this kind of stuff, and that's why I'm kind of always been like, I don't want to put myself out there because, like, I'm just a dude. But at the same time, I know that nothing good comes from me. More good will come from me putting myself out there, I think, because then I can help more people and hopefully help them not get screwed by the people flashing, their narcissism.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what I think about that.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. But yeah, is there anything I can do? I'll get these videos and photos and stuff in a folder and zip it up, and I got a Basecamp account. I can put it in,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we create base camps. We've been on base camp forever,
Yeah,
for every
yeah,
single version since the very beginning.
yeah. It's a good product. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Their support's really good. I mean, also I can say API is good, all these things.
Yeah, cool. Is there anything else I need to do at the moment, or anything I
No,
can
I think those
answer or
three
help with?
things, it's, how do you eat the elephant?
One bite at a time.
Yep. So let's do it. And then our agreement, let's build in public. Let's, I'm a big fan of I'm not just gonna like give advice or do public speaking, even though I'm one of the people that's actually, seven-figure speaker too, and
Yeah,
that's kind of thing. But I don't want to, and I could rest on my laurels and claim well, I
yeah,
don't have anything to prove. But I'm a big fan of every day I'm a practitioner.
yeah,
And your happy place building websites and all that. And I'm training up other people how to use these AI tools. I've got a call in 15 minutes with some young adults where we're working on actually using the thing, right? And I have to come prepared. And so, otherwise
yeah,
and they show me stuff I don't know how to do. Like, oh, how'd you learn how to do that? So I'd love to take things like this, like what we've done right here, because you've dropped some gold nuggets and I've dropped some gold nuggets in this, and let's repurpose even this, even though I'm not in the studio and we're not like mic'd up and like in a podcast
yeah,
way, there's still lots of gold nuggets. And then I can repurpose that from sites and properties that we control in a totally white hat, not manipulate Google, but actually helping other agency owners by demonstrating what we're actually doing, by demonstrating to other home service businesses like this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay doing cooking. Like I want to show I actually can cook, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
helps you.
Yeah. So are you saying you're taking this video and putting it on YouTube or something, putting it in your
Taking
group?
pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one
Yeah.
wants to hear, 45 minutes of just like, we have to pull out something that, like make a 5-minute summary, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. If there's anything good in here, let's do it. I definitely don't want like I love Seven Figure Agency. I don't want Josh to think that I was, saying anything
You
negative
haven't
about the
said
group.
anything bad about Seven Figure
Yeah.
Agency. I love Josh. I've
Yeah.
said so many good things about Josh. I've built
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff for Josh that helps his SEO.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the group. I actually left the group and then went back because I missed it. And
Yeah.
the people, they're all good people in there.
I have
So
only amazing things to say about Seven Figure Agency. I
yeah.
love Josh. I love what he's doing. I think some of the people there are going to misuse what's in. I mean, he can't control necessarily who comes in and what their
Yeah.
intent. It's not his responsibility to make sure they're executing against all the checklists or that the numbers that they report are actually correct or like that has nothing to do with him. These
Yeah.
are humans doing what humans do.
Yeah. Yeah. They do a good job of like, you know, teaching you to fish,
Yeah.
or giving you the fishing pole and some bait and some hooks, and it's on you to go figure it out and do it, which
He's got
I
the best
like.
framework out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, it's solid. Cool. Well, I appreciate this. I'm glad I reached out and chatted with you a little bit. And yeah, I'll start. I'll get someone else to go download the videos because there's a lot of them. But I'll start getting those put into a folder.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you, Eric. This is
Yeah,
we need more Eric Thomases.
I agree. I agree.
More doers, less pure salespeople. No offense against salespeople.
Yeah, we hired a salesperson, and it was the hardest thing I ever did was hiring someone to do sales, and even him though, like he's got a good understanding of of local SEO, and even then, like they still don't become a client without me talking to them and kind of sniffing them out first as well, still to make
It's
sure
the
it's
trust and the vetting,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and we're at the point where we're more about disqualifying across
yeah.
our agencies than trying to convince people to buy.
Absolutely. I mean, I mutually parted ways with the client this morning just because I was like, you've got goals and we have goals, and I think it would be best if you found someone that more aligned with your goals and your vision, and that's what I think more people need to do instead of just trying to cash that check every
Yeah.
month and push it down the
Yeah.
road. Yep.
Hungry hippo.
Yep. Awesome.
Cool. Was this valuable? Clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I
You know what
appreciate
we
the
need to
insight on
do?
all the stuff. Yep. Yep.
Cool. I love working with people. This is going to come off perhaps the wrong way, but Eric, I love working with people who know what they're doing and are coachable and have had enough of a taste of success that they don't have these ridiculous expectations. So
Yeah.
because then people will take that and say Dennis only wants to work with industry leaders. And I didn't say that. I just want to work with people who can actually execute. And the ones who are industry leaders tend to be the ones that actually will do the stuff that we're talking about. And guess what? It works.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be featuring you all over the place. So it's not that you are paying me for PR. It's that I already know you're legit. So I love highlighting people who are competent because there's so few of them. And you
Yeah.
could
I
even take
appreciate
this
it.
because once the Zoom's done, then we send that to you. You could even take that clip I said, right?
Yeah.
I know it's recorded. You have my full permission, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's slay this dragon.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. You rock, Eric. So you understand the three things I recommended, right?
Yep. I'm going to get you I'm going to get you the content. I'm going to get those name servers. You said to reach out to Stephanie at Blitz Metrics.
Yep. And then we will give you the name because every domain has a separate, I don't know why the name servers are different for each one, but that's what we have.
Yeah. I'll get that. And then getting some team members involved
Yep.
as well. So,
Boom. And then we'll
cool.
execute all base camp, all that.
Sounds good, sir. I
And
appreciate
then Friday, we love to publish what we call our MAA, Metrics Analysis Action Optimization Report. It's a quick weekly status. It takes 5 minutes to do, but
it. Okay.
every Friday we like to publish. Some people like to choose a different day of the week, but we just generally like to do Friday because then everyone knows.
Yeah.
That's the end of
Yeah.
the week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thank you,
Awesome,
sir.
Eric. You rock. Talk soon.
Have a good one.